before we went into the studio, we thought it was important to get on a wavelength with the band, make sure that we were all aiming for the right sort of things. Because I know from experience that when you go into the studio and you just have to engineer some band that's come in and you've never engineered them before, it's often very difficult to know exactly what they wanted. So even though we knew John Jones quite well and we knew what their sound was, it was really important to go to rehearsal and watch them rehearse, and because we never heard the new songs that we're going to record before, so we didn't know. And really they had changed direction a little bit. They'd certainly moved into a darker kind of period. Really, it was all about what the band wanted out of it, and we wanted to just achieve what they wanted. I mean, obviously, to a certain extent, there was we had artistic needs and things we wanted to get out of it and achieve. The plan was to actually use the Leeds Met Studios, but that fell through due to some regulations at the studio stopping us from being able to do certain things. So we ended up organising to work at a studio that I'd worked at before in North Wales called the Filter Rooms, which is a good studio. It's a little less well equipped, but it's certainly got a nice quirkiness to it. It's got an old school desk, old Calrec M series, 4 Pro Tools, and it was good. So, but really, thinking about equipment choices became less in depth because there was only, especially as we wanted to do it live, there was only a certain few logical ways of doing it.
Oh, Bob, did you just eat all that?
I had a poo-poo.
Yeah. Yeah, cool. Figure that out at the time. It's not the best sound, but you can close the amp off the sound fine. Yeah. It's not treated or anything, but yeah, it sounds fine. Because you just get a duvet. Close mic in. Yeah. You don't hear any of the room at all. This plan, should we go to the supermarket?
Morning, Lee. Morning. Morning, Lee. Happy Friday.
So we decided to record live, basically because the band had told us that even though their previous recordings were pretty good, people had said that something's being lost that they have live that's really not on the record, and so we wanted to recapture that. And in my opinion, anyway, certain kinds of music, particularly this kind of music, really needs to be done live. I think that a click track or multi-tracking really just destroys a feeling that needs to be there, because it really is music that's motivated by certainly an emotion and a spontaneity which needs to be captured with the band knowing that they're playing together, and really that affected the logistics of recording massively.
So we had Giles, the guitarist, in his own little space with his 2 guitar cabs, which were then closed off by acoustically treated French doors. So he could look in to the main live room where Bob and Stefan were situated, and he could feed off of their, you know, them rocking out or their emotions and stuff like that, and vice versa. In the main live room, then, there was Bob, the drummer, and Stefan. Now, because the bass cab and the drums were in the same room, we used a lot of creative thinking to try and cut off the spill between, you know, the two instruments. And we used a 2-seater couch with multiple covers and God knows what on it to try and like stop in front of the bass drum, to try and stop that kicking out into the back of the bass cabinet, to try and stop that fill. Then the bass cabinet was off centre from the drums, facing a wall, quite a while back there to give it enough room, with a double duvet over the top of it to try and limit. I mean, obviously it's not going to do everything that you want it to do, but it will limit it to some degree. The amount of bass frequencies coming out and spilling out everywhere. It would have done more than just facing it towards the drums anyway. So the 3 musicians could interact with each other, both facially and expressively and through the music. And then in a little like square room, we had Irish Joe, the singer, just singing into an SM58. Once again, he had acoustically treated French windows, so he could look at Stefan and Bob, do his thing, do his rocking out, going for it. They'd feed off of that, give it back to Giles, and we had this little triangle